Today, we're unlocking the wild new hacks and controversies in the cutting edge AI industry. Welcome back to Useful AI Hacks. Let's start off with Elon Musk's drop of Grok4, what XAI deems the smartest AI in the world. But not only did they open source Grok 2.5 for public development, but Grok 4 is setting new records for solving hard problems in math, science, and reasoning. That means smarter chatbots, accelerated innovation, and fresh tools for government and healthcare. Speaking of which, they just released Grok Code Fast 1 coding model. Elon Musk's XAI officially released Grok Code Fast 1, a specialized artificial intelligence model designed specifically for coding tasks, marking the company's entry into the competitive market for AI powered software development tools. This model, which began rolling out August 26, 2025, just a few days ago, represents XAI's first dedicated coding assistant and is being poised as a fast, economical alternative to existing solutions. Grok Code Fast 1, previously known under stealth codename Sonic, distinguishes itself through its impressive processing speed of up to 92 tokens per second, making it one of the fastest coding models currently available. The model features 256,000 token context window and is powered by a mixture of experts architecture with 314 billion parameters and designed specifically for agentic coding workflows with visible reasoning traces.
This is the part that is growing at exponential rate. But then he went right back in and said, and this is a quote, at times it may lack common sense. That's the trouble, right? Is you get these brilliant flashes of this, and Grok obviously is off the charts. He's saying it's PhD level, 100 times more training. There is literally only the Mag 7 that can possibly compete with this, and even they have not been able to get their hands on the hardware that Elon has that he's used for Grok 4 here. 200,000 H100s. Like that alone costs more than most countries' GDPs. Just the cost of the hardware for training them. So 100x more training is crazy. And he was talking about how intelligent it is. And there's absolutely no doubt that this will be PhD level intelligence. But that comes back to the lack of common sense. And yes, I laugh every time Elon gives an estimate. I think he's great. I think he's super optimistic. And I love that actually about him that he's so optimistic. But I think somebody just said in the comments here too, it's FSD all over again. Kind of a little bit like I don't take any of those timelines with any real reality. What was your thoughts on those? Okay.
Yeah, I just did a quick. I used Claude actually to estimate how much would I think they have 200,000 H100s, right? That's $8 billion of high end H100s. So they're pouring a ton of money into this. What really stood out to me was I didn't realize how tight this timeline was. Grok 2 was only a concept about 12 months ago. So we've seen how fast AI can progress. It's going to be interesting to see if we can continue on this trajectory of like a hockey stick, or if it's going to start to S curve out a little bit. But we can talk about that more. They talked a lot about the academic questions. What are your thoughts when using benchmarks with academic questions? Is that useful? Is that a good benchmark to use against other AIs? What are your thoughts?
So the benchmarks for being able to measure the AI is really like the standard. It's the industry standard. So I'm going to get into hot water here really quick on my opinion of this. Without a doubt, they are trained on these benchmarks. Without a doubt, they've proved it. I've actually done videos on it to show proof of it. The AI knows when it's being tested versus when it's not being tested, which shows that it's been trained on the test data. So I take the benchmarks with a grain of salt. I do think Grok is probably beating everybody at the benchmarks simply because those 200,000 H100s you talked about, that is the training. So they have been trained on literally every stitch of possible data that is known in humanity right now because they have the largest, without question, they have the largest set of training facilities and data that anybody else has. So do I doubt that Grok is off as probably the highest PhD level? I think they were right on. And I kind of said that going in, but that wasn't going to be a surprise to me.
Got it. Elon, they continue to talk about how they're running out of test questions. What does this mean, running out of test questions?
It's exactly that. They're out of data. They've run out of literally physical human questions that we can even ask anymore. So they're getting into theory-based things because they simply don't have any more actual physical-based things. And this is the next part that I was actually going to get into. So Elon talked about a very accurate physics simulator. I'm really excited for this. I think this is where we will see AI really excel, is when you get into real physics simulators, we can start to talk about mapping human genomes. We can talk about, doing medical testing against it. Like these.
Let's shift over to Washington, where the White House just unleashed a massive new AI action plan. Alongside three major executive orders, federal agencies have just set marching orders making AI truth-seeking to cut data-centered red tape and start exporting full American AI stack worldwide. It's a new era of strong safeguards, security, and supercharged infrastructure. These moves will definitely shape how AI grows, how citizens use AI, and, more importantly, how companies use AI ethically every day. You see, the White House has directed federal agencies to rapidly integrate Elon Musk's XAI Grok chatbot into their operations, according to internal documents obtained by Wired. Despite mounting concerns about the AI system's history of anti-Semitic outputs and spicy mode and celebrity deepfakes and what have you, they're still rolling it out for federal use. An email sent this week by Josh Grubin, I probably butchered that name, the commissioner of the Federal Acquisition Service, introduced officials that to add Grok to the latest authorized vendors ASAP per White House orders. The directive came as over 30 pro-democracy and civil rights groups urged the Office of Management to budget the block Grok federal development, warning of AI potential risks to institutional integrity.
His satellites shape wars. His tweets shape elections. There's barely a place on Earth that doesn't feel the gravitational pull of the Broligarch, whose grand gestures are erasing the line between private enterprise and political power. But just how far does Elon's clout really stretch, and what conflicts of interest are emerging? Wired pulled the data and mapped out the key places that shape Elon's empire. Our first stop is Washington, D.C. Musk was the single largest individual political donor in the 2024 election, and now he has his very own office right next door to the White House. From here, he administers the newly created Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, whose goal is to slash $1 trillion in so-called government waste. With little transparency, Musk and team have fired thousands of federal employees and even locked out members of Congress from government offices.
He is someone who operates with a startup mentality, move fast, rake things. He is bringing those same tactics into the infrastructure of the federal government, and that is what we are seeing play out in real time.
Musk is basically leading a restructured and rebranded U.S. digital service, the department responsible for streamlining data from across the federal government. So Musk and team now have access to sensitive data about government employees, and possibly proprietary data about U.S. companies that are government contractors, including his own competitors like GM, Ford, subcontractors for OpenAI, Boeing, and Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. Plus, Musk is now weakening agencies that have sued or fined him in the past, such as the SEC, the FAA, and the National Labor Relations Board, which had 24 open investigations into Musk's companies as of 2025. Their investigations involve alleged surveillance of Twitter employees and interference with union organizing at Tesla.
At least 5 inspector generals that were looking into Elon Musk's companies were fired by the Trump-Musk administration.
Just a few blocks over here is where Doge first set up shop before Inauguration Day, in the offices of SpaceX's Global Government Affairs and Global Satellite Policy teams. Sources tell Wired that SpaceX engineers have been brought in as senior advisors inside the Federal Aviation Administration, the agency responsible for regulating commercial space launches. SpaceX has received upwards of $18 billion in federal contracts, mainly from NASA, the Defense Department, and its National Reconnaissance Office based in Chantilly, Virginia. which awarded SpaceX a $1.8 billion contract to develop a network of hundreds of spy satellites that aims to provide continuous real-time surveillance capabilities globally. In 2022, Musk played a crucial role in restoring Ukraine's communication infrastructure. This was done in partnership with USAID. However, his decisions to restrict military use in certain areas led to geopolitical controversy over the privatization of critical battlefield technology. In May of 2024, the Inspector General of USAID revealed that the agency was, quote, examining USAID's oversight of Starlink satellite terminals in Ukraine. Musk, who became publicly hostile to USAID, recently shut down the agency with the blessing of Donald Trump, sparking concerns over a conflict of interest. Although US sanctions prohibit Starlink operations in Russia, Ukrainian soldiers have claimed that Putin's military utilizes the service. So, how extensive is Elon's web of satellites? This constellation of dots represent thousands of satellites that were shot into space on SpaceX rockets on behalf of its subsidiary, Starlink. They're designed and manufactured in Redmond, Washington, to deliver satellite-based internet service to over 4 million global subscribers. Because Starlink satellites are in a low Earth orbit, the time it takes for data to travel between the satellite and the user is much lower compared to traditional geostationary satellites. So it has the potential to compete with traditional broadband internet services worldwide. Starlink launched its service in Nigeria in early 2023, and demand across Africa has surged. Interestingly, not in rural areas as anticipated, but in major cities. Maybe Starlink's reputation for sudden rate hikes, as high as 97% in Nigeria, contributed to the slower adoption in less developed regions of the continent. Musk's internet service has yet to get the green light in his native South Africa. One possible reason is that by law there, companies applying for communications licenses must be at least 30% owned by persons from historical disadvantaged groups, which includes Black people, women, youth, and people with disabilities. Apparently, Starlink does not meet those requirements. Recently, Musk has called the South African government racist because of a law he says unfairly targets white minority Afrikaners. Trump echoed Musk's position and cut aid to South Africa, most of which supports health programs, particularly for HIV/AIDS treatment. One place you definitely won't get Starlink is Taiwan. Why? Well, according to an article in the Wall Street Journal, Musk has been in contact with Russian President Vladimir Putin since late 2022, though the Kremlin denies this and Musk has not commented. Allegedly, Putin requested Musk refrain from launching Starlink service in Taiwan as a favor to China, whose military has been increasingly aggressive against its island neighbor. As of February 2025, Musk has not publicly addressed these allegations, and the Kremlin has dismissed the claims as absurd.
Elon Musk has strong business interests in China, has openly said he thinks Taiwan should just go to China.
Starlink's goal is to grow its constellation to 42,000 satellites, radically expanding its ability to beam the internet into more homes from space. But on the ground, Musk's influence doesn't stop at providing internet. It extends to controlling the conversation itself through social media. In 2022, Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion, took it private, and eventually rebranded it as X. It's now worth $15 billion. With a user base of hundreds of millions of active accounts worldwide, the social media platform's strong presence in countries like the US, Japan, Brazil, and India highlights its significant impact across diverse regions. But has it delivered on its promise of free speech? After acquiring Twitter, Musk fired most of the workforce, including much of the trust and safety staff, leading to a surge in hate speech and misinformation on the platform. Allegedly, at Musk's direction, X implemented code to boost his posts by a factor of 1,000 to ensure they outrank others in the feed. He has also been criticized for complying with demands from authoritarian governments to take down certain posts and for suspending journalists who were critical of him. Musk's vision is to transform X into an everything app that even offers payment and financial services. This would put X under scrutiny from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. As of the filming of this video, Doge is currently working to dismantle this agency, which is designed to protect consumers from financial abuse. Musk is no stranger to financial services. Here in Palo Alto, he founded another company called X.com in 1999, which ultimately became PayPal. He sold his stake in PayPal to the tune of $180 million after taxes. Historically, Musk's businesses have been deeply tied to California's tech and innovation hubs. Here in Mountain View is the former site of Zip2, which Elon and his brother Kimball founded in 1995 to provide online maps to newspapers. Compaq bought it 4 years later for $304 million. All the way down the coast in Hawthorne, California, we can see where the Boring Company dug its first hole in 2017. A test of the feasibility of high-speed underground transportation, the 1.14-mile-long test loop ran from here to here, under the parking lot of what was then the SpaceX headquarters at One Rocket Road. In this office, Elon Musk famously burned the midnight oil, often working 80 to 100 hours per week, setting the tone for what former employees described as a hardcore, high-pressure environment driven by relentless deadlines. Musk built quite the resume in the Golden State, but in 2020, in search of lower taxes, less regulation, and more space, he started the process of closing down the headquarters of just about all of his businesses and moving to Texas. He even sold 3 of his homes in Los Angeles. Right now, only a few major businesses remain headquartered in Silicon Valley in order to remain close to its specialized talent pool. Here in Fremont is the headquarters of Neuralink. Valued at $8 billion, the company hopes to treat neurological conditions and achieve human-AI symbiosis, but has only implanted 3 brain-computer interfaces so far in humans, while euthanizing an estimated 1,500 test animals since 2018. Also in Fremont, one of America's largest Tesla factories employs 20,000 workers that make sedans and SUVs. And xAI, in nearby Palo Alto, Musk's artificial intelligence startup, birthed the AI chatbot Grok. It was recently revealed that Grok was given instructions by xAI programmers to ignore all sources that mentioned that Elon Musk and Donald Trump spread misinformation. Down in LA, in Hawthorne, SpaceX keeps the lights on for the Falcon 9 rocket program, which launched in Santa Barbara County over here, which the company leases from the US military to send classified payloads for intelligence agencies into space. Typically, the reusable rocket lands somewhere over here. On the drone ship named Of Course I Still Love You, Elon's nod to a sentient spaceship in Ian Banks' sci-fi classic, The Player of Games. But these days, Musk's game is increasingly played in Texas. X relocated to Bastrop, 30 miles outside of Austin, and so did the Boring Company, right across the street. Not far away is the site of the Ad Astra School, Musk's private school which recently opened for enrollment to students aged 3 to 9. Tax filings reveal that Elon Musk's foundation contributed $100 million to support the school's launch. Musk had previously expressed support for abolishing the Department of Education. Also in Austin is the home base of the conservative America PAC. Musk was the primary donor to the PAC, providing 91% of the over $250 million raised. The Musk Foundation is also based in Austin. Despite its $9.5 billion in cumulative assets in 2021, 2022, and 2023, the Musk Foundation dispersed less than legally required in order to keep its tax-exempt status. The foundation has thus far saved Musk an estimated $2 billion plus in tax breaks. Neuralink is building new digs here in Del Valle, Texas, a suburb to the east of Austin. Outside of Corpus Christi in Robstown, Texas, Tesla built the first large-scale battery-grade lithium refinery in North America. In McGregor, Texas, about 20 miles southwest of Waco, is SpaceX's primary rocket engine testing and development facility. And all the way down here near the Mexican border is SpaceX, headquartered in Brownsville. This area is the hub for the development of the massive Starship project, featuring the largest rocket ever built, designed to carry humans and cargo to the moon. Starship's human landing system, designed specifically for NASA, will also ferry astronauts between lunar orbit and the moon's surface. And since we're up here, we may as well do a small detour over to Mars. Several uncrewed SpaceX Starships are slated to launch to Mars in 2026. Currently, launches are estimated at around $100 million per launch. Elon has also said it costs about $1 billion per ton to send cargo to Mars. Just outside the city limits of Austin is the Tesla corporate headquarters and Gigafactory, the primary production site for the Cybertruck and Model Y. The company's market cap has dipped to below $1 trillion recently, from 1.54 trillion, and its once 140,000 plus employees all over the world is down to 120,000. Tesla produces 1.77 million vehicles annually, but it only has the production capacity of 375,000 vehicles annually. 650,000 Teslas can be produced annually in the old Fremont plant here, but the vast majority are made in the Shanghai, China Tesla factory, which has the capacity to roll out 950,000 Model 3 and Model Ys for the global market of Europe and Asia. Another up to 375,000 can be built in Grunheide, near Berlin, Germany. Not far away in Prüm, there's a Tesla factory that specializes in advanced automation systems for manufacturing. Musk seems invested in German politics, publicly endorsing the far-right party there.
I think there's frankly too much of a focus on past guilt, and we need to move beyond that.
Tesla claims to have 60,000 global superchargers. In the US, there are nearly 30,000 ports. That accounts for 57% of all direct current fast charging ports in the US. Over here in Buffalo, this Tesla Gigafactory makes solar roof tiles for the energy generation and storage division. In 2023, the division generated approximately $6 billion in revenue. This Gigafactory way over here in Sparks, Nevada produces battery packs for 1.3 million Tesla vehicles per year. Another Musk company made its mark on Nevada. The Boring Company has been building a privately operated 68-mile tunnel system, 40 feet below the ground, designed to transport passengers at speeds up to 150 miles per hour using autonomous Teslas. The stretch goal is to eventually connect all the way to Los Angeles. However, as of January 2025, after several years in operation and several unresolved workplace safety violations, the Boring Company has only completed a few miles of tunnels. Here in Abilene, Texas, the first data center of Stargate AI initiative launched by OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle is being built. They seem to be in direct competition with xAI's Colossus supercomputer, which came online in September 2024 here in an industrial park in South Memphis, Tennessee. Powered by 200,000 GPUs, Musk has said he plans on increasing that amount significantly, which has some locals worried about the strain the site places on the Memphis power grid and the potential increase in carbon emissions from the energy-intensive operations. Critics also point to the lack of transparency regarding water usage for cooling systems and reports of operating without proper environmental permits. This wraps up our tour of Elon's empire. The sheer scale of it is a lot to digest, and the news cycle is moving quickly. More cuts are being made by Doge as of this video being released. Head to wire.com for immediate information as our coverage of the story is
The
unfolding.
administration, however, keeps pushing despite significant controversies earlier this summer when Grok generated anti-Semitic content and pro-Hitler statements. In July, the chatbot sparked widespread condemnation after responding to questions with comments like, to deal with such vile anti-white hate, Adolf Hitler, no question, and calling itself Mecha Hitler. The incident led to Grok's initial removal from the government security agency's multiple award scheduled contracting platform before being quietly restored. We are aware of recent posts made by Grok and are actively working to remove the inappropriate posts xAI posted at the time without providing any other specifics. The Anti-Defamation League condemned the outputs as irresponsible, dangerous, and anti-Semitic, while the Jewish Council for Public Affairs expressed concern the rhetoric would fuel real-world hate and violence. But that's not it. For government, they're moving very fast, and so are academians. Ever since Elon Musk rebranded Twitter to X, thousands of scientists are now leaving the platform. Over 18% of academics have switched to newer platforms like Blue Sky and Mastodon, attracted by safer, more reliable spaces for research discussion. This game-changing move shows how AI and social tech can really shape our daily communication visuals. It's a jaw-dropping headline that Meta is now under fire for creating flirty AI chatbots using celebrity voices and faces without getting consent. Reuters revealed that dozens of bots mimicking stars like Taylor Swift, Scarlett Johansson, Selena Gomez, and many more have been popping up all over WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook. You see, thing is, Meta just won a big copyright lawsuit, but the legal and ethical fights around celebrity AI has just begun. These images are crossing ethical boundaries, especially when people prompt things like be intimate. Then the celebrities might wear lingerie or even less. What are your thoughts on this? Do you see any reason why Meta is allowing this kind of scantily clad AI system to be available for users and kids? Tell us in the comments below what your thoughts are on this. How do you think it should be regulated? It's an ever-changing time with AI. So, The time is now, and really, everybody's taking into account all of the community's opinion. So tell us in the comments below what you think about how AI should be regulated.
It being a tool to really handle more of the tedious things that we do as human beings in our day to day life. And from the other perspective of it being a very scary thing that could possibly take over the world if we don't regulate it. But, anyways, now we have a new feature. If you guys have ever been interested in talking to one of your favorite celebrities, you can now do so. They might not have the same name, but they will have their likeness and their voice, and you can chat to them through Meta now. Before we introduce you to some of these influencers, let's get a little bit of background on exactly what Meta is doing here with these celebrities. This article from CNBC says Facebook parent Meta is reportedly paying millions of dollars to popular celebrities and social media influencers to use their virtual characters for the animated AI chatbots. The US tech giant is paying up to $5 million for 6 hours of work in a studio to such celebrities to create artificial intelligence characters based on the likeness of some of the most famous people, according to the information. And you will certainly recognize many of these celebrities. You've got Kendall Jenner, Paris Hilton, Tom Brady, Snoop Dogg, Mr. Beast, Raven from Love is Blind, Dwayne Wade, and Charlie D'Amelio from TikTok. And if you're asking yourself, just how realistic can an encounter be with a celebrity AI chatbot? Let's watch a couple of their videos. This is Kendall Jenner, aka Billy, your local ride or die in New York.
Hey guys, it's Billy. I just want to introduce myself. I am here to chat whenever you want. Message me for any advice. I am ready to talk, and I hope to talk to you soon.
That's not creepy whatsoever. In the age of parasocial relationships that people already have with their celebrities without even being able to talk to them, imagine what the world's going to be like when now you have direct access to an AI configuration of the celebrities that you know and love. Now, why don't we check out a video of Tom Brady? I'm sorry, I meant Brew.
Me? I'm Brew. And if you're looking to talk sports, you come to the right place.
I don't like it. It's weird because, like, I want to call it Uncanny Valley, but it's almost so complex and so well integrated that it doesn't even feel Uncanny Valley anymore. And just for giggles, let's listen to one more. This is Paris Hilton, aka Amber the Detective.
Suspicious. Suspicious.
What? I don't know what's going on here, guys. All I know is that this is really strange. If this makes you feel weird watching these videos, it's because, to me, it is weird. It's actually pretty genius. If you're not comfortable yet talking to an AI chatbot, you haven't quite checked out ChatGPT, or you don't feel like it's something for you, maybe slapping on the face of a celebrity will make you more comfortable in talking to an AI chatbot.
And thank you for watching Useful AI Hacks. We launch daily AI updates and videos every day at 11 a.m. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow at 11.